everybody doing? Do you see me with my Ivy Park drip on today? Yes, I've got my little blue drip going. Let's see who comes in and visits with us. Oh, hey, Ernest! Oh, Ernest is so wonderful. Hi, Gloria, Kayla Brown. Oh my gosh. Who's that? Jana Parsons. You guys, hey, Richard Nichols. It's good to see you. You guys see my Ivy Park drip? We had to make an appointment at Adidas just to get it. Hello, Miss Sims. How are you? It's good to see you. Richard McFalls, good to see you too. We wanted to update you before Pastor gets here. Oh, thank you, Ernest. I don't know what this thing is right here, but it's, I don't know what it is on the hat, but I'm wearing it. Oh, look at it. We've got Pastor coming on right now. Oh my gosh. This is so exciting. Yes. This is exciting. But yeah, everything, I guess we'll talk about it too when Pastor Kee joins us, talking about Haiti. A lot of people are interested in what's going on in Haiti right now. So let's see. Did it not go on for some reason? I wonder. We are just talking and waiting for Pastor Kee just popped on, so I'm not sure what happened there. Let's see. We'll just keep it going. But yeah, as many of you know, Claude is from Haiti, so you know we've been very concerned. To pray for Haiti. Yeah, we really need to pray for Haiti.
Well, yeah, there's a lot going on there now.
Well, tell us what's going on.
Along with all of the, there was a hurricane that hit, the earthquake hit. So
you said hurricane. Hurricane. Oh, okay. So there was a hurricane,
that hit. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So just lift them up. We have a ministry there in Haiti, a medical clinic. We are in a situation where, because of the pandemic, we haven't been able to travel there to kind of complete some things. But so lift that up. But we are able to funnel funds to different ministries that are on the ground there. To make sure that it gets there to the people that are there.
Hi, Greg Cooper.
So that, in fact, this Monday, there's an event at the Laugh Factory. And,
oh, really?
Yeah. So to kind of raise funds for Haiti. So I'm sure there's a number of events going around the country. So if there's an event close to you, just go and support if you can. He's not able to join us.
Just keep going.
Okay.
So, so in any event, so just keep your eyes. If there's something going on in your area and you can support it, go ahead. Of course, the biggest issue that people have when it comes to sending monies to Haiti is, vetting out, the organization, making sure that the money is being used
for what it's supposed to be used for.
And so, I think that's part of what we're trying to do right now in the process. It's a little.
Just turn it.
It is on.
It's hot in this car today.
Oh, okay, there it is. We don't want to pump up the van. So.
And we're trying to get Pastor Kee on. He's trying to join us, so I'm not sure what's happening.
So, so I forgot what I was saying, but in terms of the ministry that we have there, is for a clinic, and we haven't been able to go there for the last couple of years because of the pandemic. Our key person around here is going to be going there in about a week.
Okay.
To identify the appropriate organizations that we can vet them out on the ground that are taking care of business, and then those are the organizations we're going to those who donate monies through our organization, we're going to funnel that money to them.
Okay.
And then those who want to donate directly, we'll let them know who to give the money to directly.
Okay. We're trying to get Pastor Key on, and I get some things.
Not sure what's going
I
on.
wonder. I don't know what's going on. It keeps saying he's unable to join, and he's right there. Did you want to call Sheila?
We just keep
Yeah, I am, but I want
So,
to ask a
but
question.
that's the thing with Haiti.
Hi, Jazz Bits.
So we're really excited about that. So we can do
Yes.
something.
It's good. And your
Yeah.
family is okay, right?
You know, I have most of my family.
Oh, and Jeanette is okay. Jeanette,
Most
maybe. Try Jeanette.
most of my family is here or have left Haiti. I still have some other relatives, you know, second and third cousins that are there, but no, all of my immediate family is here, and so that's a good thing. My brother's wife has immediate family in Haiti, and so
Okay.
I want to pray for her family.
Oh my goodness! How
Okay,
are
there we
you,
go.
Pastor P?
Hey, beautiful.
Oh my gosh, it's been a
I
while.
was just gonna say your forehead looks good, but
Yeah, we're pulling it down now. We're making it do.
I am so happy to see you. Thank you. Okay.
man, all
Thank
right,
you
that's
for
what I'm
agreeing
talking
to
about.
do our show.
No, thank you all for calling me.
Oh gosh, it's been a while, and you know you're one of my favorite people. We haven't talked about. I want you to see me in my. This is my
Ivy Park.
Ivy Park by Beyonce. So that's
I got you.
A little shout out.
But I wanted to read a little something I wrote about you.
Okay.
And from there, this is sincere from my heart, and I hope I don't cry. One of the goats in gospel, and somehow, even till this day, Pastor Key is able to stay relevant. Seriously, one of the most generous men I have ever met. Always rooting for the underdog. I have personally seen Pastor Key watch over and minister to strippers. This is what I've seen. Pimps, prostitutes, drug dealers, and anybody else who wants to come and know the Lord. I've seen this man do it with my own eyes. I have also seen with my own eyes him convert his church into a school for kids that can't, for the kids in the community. But what really blew me away is I have seen him turn the sanctuary into a basketball court. This is what I have seen. I don't have to talk to anybody or read about it. I have seen it for myself. His writing and his music is unparalleled with songs like, these are my favorite. Jesus is real. I made it out. And Life in Favor, which I call You Don't Know My Story, which I had the opportunity to work on. I Do Worship and Standing in the Need. These are just my personal favorites. And when I needed somebody to watch my daughter to make sure she was okay, when she moved to Charlotte, we called Pastor Key and the church with Shalia and Jeanette, and y'all watched after my daughter while she was there. She actually found her husband there and now has 2 beautiful children. I knew she would be okay.
Amen.
Everyone, please welcome a gentleman who's been inducted into the Christian Hall of Fame, and we call him the Prince of Gospel Music, Pastor John P. Kee.
How are you? How are you?
I love you so much. I don't get to see you that much now that we're not in Nashville.
Right.
But gosh, I'm so happy to have you on and just wanted to chat and talk about some of the things that we've been doing. But I mean that from my heart. I love you. And when Pastor Key is one of these people, baby, if there is an event that happens where help is needed, Pastor Key is always one of the first people there, and he will call you and come get your money to help folks. I remember so many people. I'm going to tell this joke real quick. Story about Pastor Key. Okay. We have always been Pastor Key fan since the very first projects.
Yes.
And my daughters,
Yes.
I've told you this story before, my daughters love Pastor Kee.
Yes.
So, you know how he's giving and just loving. And so for Christmas, we gave our daughters each about $200 each. This is when they were little kids to, you know, so that they could buy clothes and do the things they wanted to do. We went to a Pastor John P Kee concert, and my kids gave all their money to you.
Yes. We learned
We
about.
were like, no, don't save some of it. And I remember, I might have been Shemel, she's mommy, this is our money, and we heard the Lord tell us to give it to Pastor Kee.
What you gonna do?
What could we
Right,
say?
right.
Jesus is real.
Look, I remember when they were young and we would do the theme park in LA. And what used to blow my mind about your kids is they would not just be in the concert, but they would be wide-eyed, making me think I was Santa Claus for real, buddy. And just the genuine love. I don't even know if they remember, but I remember when the babies were young and they wanted to see me after the concert. And we put Charlie Wilson out of the dressing room so I could hang out with your kids.
Yes, I remember.
Charlie Wilson, get out of here. That's funny.
I mean, such a blessing. I mean, you've been so great, but we're going to get into, we find that people love it when we get into current topics.
Okay.
So we wanted to talk about that because people hear your life story and we want to get into that, but we want to know how you're thinking and what you're feeling right now. And I have a quote from you that I got to read this. This thing seems to only hit home when it affects the people you know, #your family. Today, I received tons of horror stories that I will not post. Now, this is Pastor Kee writing on Instagram. I'll go on a limb and tell you I believe this dis-ease is preventable. We pastors beg you to take the necessary precautions, and you laugh, mock, and criticize us. And now your family is angry because the church won't handle your $12,000 funeral expense. Pastor, please elaborate.
You know, it's sad because and this is my firm belief. I am vaccinated. And look, yesterday at the doctor's office, I even got a pneumonia shot. So I got some extra potion on mine because I'm in the community. I'm out and about. I do mask. And I just think it's preventable. I just believe, you know, the science. I hear all of the drama, and it's become tribal, depending on what side of the fence you're on. But I've as a pastor, I've buried too many. This past week, 5 people dead that I know that were not vaccinated, and they're gone. And I just think, you know, we need to put the guns down and have a conversation, because my mother's 95, and I saw that she, you know, she doesn't have a lot of mobility now, but people still visit and come in, and we got a large family. I'm getting ready to go on like a 27-city tour, waiting on somebody to cancel. Nobody's canceled. I'll be in Cali for like 5 or 6 days straight. So we just got a new set of rules. I haven't opened the church yet. My desire is to open the 5th of next month, but we just got rules and regulations. And so I'm just seeing to it that those that desire to get vaccinated, if I can help, I'm helping, you know, but put that mask on. People that are becoming so angry, and it's your side of the fence and mine. You didn't want the kids to wear a mask to school. Now they're shutting down the school system 3 days after opening. So somebody's got to use some common sense.
Yes.
As for the quote, you know, we beg them, you know, to either vaccinate or put your mask on, do something, and you argue, and then whenever you in the midst of your demise, you know, God bless you, I praise God, you had an amazing life. Your family's angry because they feel like the church ought to be there to carry on the finances, and that's not fair, and we shut that down.
Wow.
You
Yeah.
know, and I just to add, I saw this clip. You may have seen it, where this pastor was telling his congregants that if they wore masks to service, he was going to kick them
Kick
out.
them out.
And I
Oh
said,
wow, he literally said, "Get the hell out of my church."
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah, he did.
concerned.
I said,
I'm
where's
concerned
the
because.
gospel?
Go ahead.
No, I just said, where's the gospel in this?
Yeah, where's the
So,
gospel? Absolutely. Where's the Matthew 25? And I'm concerned because he had an uncle to die of COVID, and they were real humble that week. You know, yes, they were humble, and they were, on the side of science for 2 days. You know, so again, like I said, it's become tribal, it's become political, and it shouldn't be. But while we're talking now, yesterday, we lost a young man, Toby Wise, an amazing singer that sung on some of the early VIP records with me. And it's just like, how much more do you need to see? What other evidence is needed? And, I call names, y'all know me, the Busta Rhymes
Oh,
that went viral. I'm like, Busta, do you realize what you say matters? So we're going out on tour. I was going to cancel the tour, but I'm going to use the tour to really deal with these issues. I'm going out and I'm going to talk to my people.
amen.
Well, what do you think in terms of African Americans in particular? I mean, like in Mississippi, I was talking to Jerry Mannery. You remember Jerry Mannery?
Absolutely. I know Jerry, good friend.
Yeah, he said only 30% of African Americans, if I'm quoting him right, are vaccinated in Alabama, especially in the South. It's especially low. What is going on?
Bad information. Bad information. If you want the negative, you can find it. Bad information. But here we are with 30%, only 30% of the African American community vaccinated, if you would. But there are no hospital beds. It's just like, how do you weigh this? If you break your leg or if you have a heart attack, you're short. So again, these are the things that I want to deal with on tour. And if anybody can deal with it, and I think deal with it in an area of love, I believe John P. Kee can do it.
Absolutely.
I think so. Well, it's really needed.
Absolutely. And I mean, then also you've had a North Carolina going on with voter suppression. People are talking about it. And you got COVID, voter suppression, BLM. We are standing in the need of prayer for sure. I have to work every day right now just to not get depressed,
Right.
What do you tell people like me we love the Lord and everything, but you're looking around and God is good, but you're like, what is going on?
I think even with the voter, I'm believing God that this administration will create or figure this thing out, because we've got to do something. But we all understand what's going on. Black and brown people are growing in number. And if anybody witnessed what really happened with the gentrification and those things, I took my neighborhood back. People don't know it. When I moved here, this is the same neighborhood I sold drugs in right across the street for 3.5, 4 years. So I spent my whole career attention getting. I was never the artist that was dying to be on stage. But if me going on stage could create, let me just say it, a base of wealth to go back and buy and I literally bought my neighborhood, and I'm reaping the benefits now, because I bought little plots and lots of land all around my church. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was led to do it. And they literally built apartments right up on one of my properties. And so in the next couple of weeks, we're going to see the fruit of all that labor, because that particular property sold for a whole lot of money. So we're able now to understand, this was the neighborhood, and they tore this neighborhood down, and they tore the Double Oaks neighborhood down and called it, it's called Bright Walk now. and you've seen
Really?
the white people, and everybody's here. It's a
Oh,
multifaceted community, but the way by which they tore it down angered me for a long time, because they came in and said that there was a pest problem, and they tore all the hood down. Listen though, and look, we were on top of that. There were no bugs here. We had cleaned it up, and it was our neighborhood. So what I had to do, I had to mature to a place, Vicki, where I understood. Somebody actually, I didn't do it myself. I was in a board meeting, and I was hot about some other issues in the community. And somebody said, well, Pastor, could it be that God brought you here for that season, and your work that you were called to do, you did the work? So, you know, I walked away with my head up. The church is still here. They've done everything to purchase this church or purchase the other properties. We were offered several $1 million to walk away, but I'm here. I'm not for sale. So
oh,
we're
good. Well, I tell you, of course, we've been to your church many times, not in the last 2 or 3 years, and I missed that.
Yeah.
But I just want to ask one question about you in the church here. Who is that frying that catfish?
They talk about that catfish all the time.
Let me tell you something amazing, because I know exactly who you're talking about, because that was one of the VIP. You would always come in and stay a couple of days for VIP. That young man now has been elevated, if you would. He's my travel coordinator. His name is William Walker. I think on Instagram he's William Air or William Millionaire, William Nair or something. But he's a great guy. He does everything from work out my transport. He went and purchased me new buses a few days ago in Detroit. He's just a great guy. So it's amazing that you would ask about that fish, and I know exactly who fried that fish. Look, so when you and my brother come back, to Charlotte, I'm gonna have William Air here hanging out with us.
Man, we need to have some.
Please, because that Claude and I would always go,
Before
we go in the church, we get some of that
go
fish.
outside.
It was so good. I want to
Claude,
tell you,
it's just amazing to me that y'all would ask that. He is a great guy too. He's an amazing guy. He does security for me. He'll be on this tour with me. And prayerfully, are you guys in Cali, back in California?
yeah,
we're
we're back in California.
I will find you. I'm gonna read the tour dates before we hang up. I will find you while I'm in California. We might even work it out so he can fry you some while he's there. He's a great guy.
We never forgot, and we never told you this story one time, real quickly. Claude was driving. We were driving up to your church, and this guy almost came out and almost hit us.
Wow.
The guy got out of the car with his hand here, like he had a piece, and started walking to, this is just before we were to come to your church, walking to our car. He was getting ready to do something to my husband. My husband gets out of the car. I am praying in tongues. And you know, the guy is getting ready to do something to my husband. And Claude says, man, forgive me. Just like that. Man, forgive me. I don't know what happened, but please forgive me. And the guy looked at him real crazy and said, that's all right, and got back in his car.
But see, what he didn't know was, on the low, Clyde is from Haiti. Forgive me meant this. Now, you got a choice. You can either forgive me, or I'm going to have to whoop you because I got to go to church. Yeah?
You know, I was like, oh my goodness. So we came in that day just praising the Lord so hard.
Yeah.
And, you didn't know what was going on that day, but I love your church. What's Michi doing now?
I allowed Michi to go home a few years. And Michi came to me, and this never happens. He said, Pastor, I really want to go back home. That's where I was raised, and work with my cousin at his church. And Michi had put in the time with me, 25, almost 30 years. And I got Michi when he was young at GMWA and put him under my wing. Michi came here, raised his family. I taught him to purchase property. He bought a few houses. So he's doing amazing now. He's back in Philly. He owns some properties here. So I get to see him. And quietly, as quiet as it's kept, he still works for me in production, and we're
Oh,
super
okay.
excited. We're working now on the Rance Allen tribute, and I should have sent you some music.
Oh,
I want you to have some of it. It's really good. And between Warner and the old Ty Scott family, because that's who Rance had his deal with,
yeah.
we have
Yeah.
an amazing, I'm gonna call it a Vicki Mack deal on the table, where they really came through for me.
Oh,
We
good.
asked for budgets
Great.
that they don't even offer anymore, and I got exactly what I asked for. And I'm gonna go and say it publicly. And this deal was negotiated by Denise Brown, and
He's
we
all right.
negotiated in this deal a large percentage of the finances to go to Bishop Rance's wife. So I'm happy about it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I
Praise
thought
God.
I thought it was Capital. I might have been wrong, but that's one of the songs. There were about 2 or 3 songs that led me to the Lord, and one of them was "Ain't No Need of Worrying."
I wish I was in the
Rance
studio so I could play you
Allen.
what I did with it. We redid that song, and I'm gonna send you a
Oh,
copy.
okay.
I'm gonna send you a copy as soon as the interview is over, and I'm sure you're gonna call me back. I've got Gene Moore from Houston, Texas, is actually singing that particular song, and he did an amazing job.
I tell you, see, because that song had a lot to do with the kind of music I did with the
Right.
company, because it was contemporary and it met me before I really knew Jesus. That song, so I got the album back then. You got the album, and I was like,
Right.
this is religious, and it just really.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love what I did with it.
So when is all this happening?
Well, right now we're at the end phase. I'm mixed next Wednesday, and you know me. You've worked with me before. It's got to be right.
Yeah.
So we're going in next Wednesday, and we're gonna try to pull it together. It's 22 songs.
22 songs.
And I've got everybody: Frank McComb, me, Gene Moore, Tone. Everybody's on it. Great vocalists, and you guys are gonna really, really. One of my favorites right now. I have a favorite every week, but one of the favorites is right now. I have Jason Nelson singing an old Rance Allen song. I'm gonna make it after all, and it is amazing.
Oh yes, we've had him on the show too. But I want to talk about you're just this very special person to me, and for some reason, you like and kind of shelter the underdogs. I've seen it. I remember when there was a young lady, I won't even say her name, but when she was pregnant and people were dissing and downing her and not having her, you sheltered her. I remember Alonzo from LA after James.
I miss him so much.
Yes. And people that other people turn away from, you just love them. What is that?
I think that's the key to who and what I am. I talk about it publicly now. I went through a divorce, and it was kind of rough 5-6 years ago. And in the transition of that, and I bring that up because so many times we go through things, and the church folk kind of diss us, and I'm the one that diss, because if you diss me, you're just an extra person I don't have to speak to. I'm like, hey, but I strengthen. I'm remarried now, and the joy of knowing your life continues. Vicki, that's the tag right there. When Lonzo Lonzo directed for James, and we all know, and I hope this doesn't come back to bite me, Lonzo may have not been the best director in the game, but he was loyal. Vicki. And you look 22 years old, but you know what I'm talking about. He was loyal. He was loyal to the church and loyal. And I'm gonna say this: when James died, when Reverend died, they kind of kicked Lonzo to the side, and it bothered me. I was in LA, and I saw it, and it bothered me. And I went to Lonzo and I said, "Pack your bags. I'm bringing you to Charlotte." And I brought him to Charlotte. He bought his own home, his first time home buyer. He directed my senior choir for years, and we took care of him like he was our baby. Sheila, Jeanette just would not let him out of her sight, and we took care of him. And until he left us to be with the Lord, Lonzo lived an amazing life. And I just believe that is my real, if you ask me, Pastor Kee, what do you think your key to remaining relevant and successful is that I've always put others' needs before mine. And God has allowed me to be and live out this dream of mine. And like you said, still continue to work. I'm working on about 14 projects now. John P. Kee Worship. Little Rufus has a new project. We've got the John P. Kee Tribute Project, the Ranch Allen. Go ahead.
Tell everybody about Little Rufus. Everybody might not know about
Little Rufus was a character I created one time. My ex-wife and I were on the way home, and we were trying to keep the kids awake because we had a huge house, and we didn't want to take them up those steps. We was trying to figure it out. And I just started making up songs off the fly, little kiddie songs. So by the time I got home, I had 5 or 6 tunes. So I said, let me run downstairs and recorded them. I went downstairs and I recorded the songs. And hey, your Little Rufus was born. If you follow me on Instagram, Keetwit, Keetwit, Little Rufus was posted this morning. Little Rufus is hanging out with us in LA and in Compton and in Bakersfield. Little Rufus is going on tour with us.
Oh, he's going on too. Okay.
I mean, but he looks like that purple dinosaur. What's that? The other one? Barney. I mean, Little Rufus is as big as Barney.
Yeah, he's tall, right? Look, you've seen it.
Big old dude. He's a big old dude.
He's a big old dude, right? So we're excited about that. Little Rufus is going to be hanging out with us on tour.
Oh, that's cool. Well, I got another. This is Vicki being messy.
Go ahead.
And so I like being messy. Now, Pastor, I saw on Instagram, and I want to talk to you about this. And I'm with you on it, how women put on makeup on the gram, and they look like, I mean, some of them look like they've had surgery. And they look a whole different way now. And you said, if you're married now, of course, happily married, but if you were ever to date again, they'd have to get into the swimming pool.
Yeah, we're going swimming. We're going to swim for a week of revival service. We're going to have revival services at the swimming pool. That was amazing. And shout out to her. She's an amazing, beautiful woman, whoever she was. But for her to come on, I was just scared that, look, if we go home and we go out to eat and you have to use the restroom and then you come out looking like the first picture, I'd probably call the police and say somebody's invaded my house. But this morning I had fun with it. I did the same video, and when I hit the camera, it turned into Fred Hammond. So
I saw that.
That's what everybody's talking about today. Okay, I haven't seen that one, but somebody was talking about it on here. My sister said that stuff is waterproof. But, I mean, some of them, have you seen some of the Asian ones? They actually put plastic on there.
Yeah, it's stuff you'd be surprised. You would be surprised. And so, but it's the day that we live in now, you know, understand? So, and makeup sales are up like never before because you can transform your face in the name of Jesus.
Well, I mean, women now, Black women especially, colorism is a big thing.
Yeah.
And, a lot of dark-skinned Black women are just feeling, there's this whole controversy about it. They'll come out with makeup and be a whole different color.
A whole different color. A whole different color.
I was going to ask, just to add to that, in your church, I mean, you guys you're not having in-person services now.
No, I've been very successful with the pandemic by doing what we're calling pull up and praise. I go outside, we've got the speakers. I purchased FM 101.5. So you can pull up in your car, go to 101.5, and it sounds as clear as we're talking now. The music, and I teach, and we've not suffered, we've not lost. My plan is to go back in on the 5th. I'm still watching the numbers in the city. I flipped the church. We have really remodeled the church. The stage isn't where you guys knew it was. It's actually to the right now. So we go long ways. It's a huge curtain. So it's new lights. Yeah, so we've redone it and we're excited. So, but we will continue the pull up and praise. People love it. The service is over. They line up and do a little parade and come by me. And I do what I always do, pass out everything from food. We feed for free every Sunday. So it's been really cool for us.
Oh, wow.
You are just
Yeah,
amazing, and you think of things.
so I was going to tie that into what you were saying before, was about the women in the ministry in terms of the single women and dating, and that the fact that a lot of them are single, and is there and well, there's a whole issue about black women dating and marrying and not being able to marry. And I'm just wondering, have you guys addressed that issue in your church?
Oh yeah, I'm the pastor that will address every issue, and I think what we really need to understand is we're living in an age now where, and I promote this, some women are not ready for marriage and really want to take their careers. I mean, I hope I don't get in trouble. I applaud your daughter. When she came here, she wasn't looking for a man. She was focused. She
Yeah.
was trying to make it happen. And I always loved that about her. And I never told this publicly, and you can ask her, even when I needed her legally just for information, she would always send me in the right area. So, you have people that have grabbed their careers now, and they're more career oriented than just out on the dates. And now, listen, with the new variants with Delta, people are not in a hurry. You understand me? So they're spending time with the dog.
That's what she's got a 7-8 month old and a 4-year-old, and she works from home as an attorney, but she's way more into being a mother. She's not really doing the legal, but she's not really.
Well, your kid, you and Claude, y'all brought something to the table. Your kids have always been, even as, remember the money giveaway? That's nothing that anybody or any other kid probably would have done. But what you all have done that you probably can't toot your own horn because it's your show, but you've always raised your kids to be independent thinkers. You understand me? Because you two come from that aspect of, it's just got to be logos. It's got to be logical. It's got to be logic. And I love it. My kids, I have no issue. Dale, my baby boy, he's 21 last week, and I'm so excited for him. Never given us any problem. I was really worried about him. Your daughter will love this. He was supposed to run point guard for his college right before COVID hit, and I saw his dreams die. I mean, I raised this baby, had him in camp. He was the light-skinned boy that wasn't scared to get knocked down. He'd go to the hole. We were excited about his basketball career. And when COVID happened, he was so discouraged. I'm at North Carolina Central doing their homecoming. I walk off stage and he looked at me and said, "Daddy, I'm ready to sing." He always could sing, never would. Now he travels with me, does studio sessions. They don't know I know it, but him and John got a little secular project they're working on. But just a great kid. My boys, my girls, now my youngest is 14. I'm just excited. I'm just excited about it. They're doing, and we raise them like you guys raised yours to be independent thinkers, lean more to logic than foolery, and I'm glad I had them in the hood a lot, so they got to see a lot of foolery. So I can say, that's not what you're going to do right there.
Right, because otherwise, sometimes Black families, when they're doing a little bit better, they raise kids in neighborhoods where
lock them down. And I never did that. My baby girl, well, she's my middle child. She's 19 now. And I remember her as a baby when I first took her to the hood to witness. She said, "Woo-wee, smell like fried dinner." But I always kept my babies engaged. They saw daddy giving. They saw daddy ministering to people, the homeless. And they all have that heart now, and that's a good thing.
That's beautiful.
That's good. What, John, when did we meet? Pastor John. I can't even remember when we met. It's like...
I'm getting ready to tell you. Yeah. Tell your daughter to get ready to smile. Yeah. When I first met your mommy, I had a group called the Key Singers. And I love this story, I promise you. I sent your mama my demo, and she was like, "Oh, it sounds good, but it kind of sounds like a pop group that's getting ready to come out called the Winans." I'd never heard the Winans. She said, "Are you from Detroit?" I said, "No, ma'am." I said,
"Uh-oh. Oh, no. That." Oh,
you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. So she said, and look, I was crushed. So when I met her, she literally, and she really started pouring into me. And what I mean by pouring into me, I met your mother before we had music business.
Yeah.
And I used to just be shocked because I'm like, you bringing your kids, you paying for the front row seats, you know, and you're the same lady that told me I need to hold up on my demo. So that's how it is.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I did that. I'm sorry. Well, we
She's
finally
in.
got to.
No. It's a good thing. You're actually. I have a book that I'm gonna release at some point. It's called My 15 Most Impressionable Moments, and I don't talk about the demo. No. I bring the demo up, but I talk about us in Los Angeles when you had your babies sitting on the front row, and we had 2 shows, and you were ready to go, and you might not remember this. Your baby said, "Oh no, we're gonna wait till
Okay.
this," and they stayed for both of the shows.
Yes.
Was it Magic Mountain?
Yes.
It was
It was
Magic
Magic
I
Mountain.
mean,
Magic Mountain.
their job, P Kee, to this day.
And I remember like yesterday, they sat right there. The people, they were telling you guys to exit the building. Your girls were not having it. They were not going anywhere. I don't even know what you told the little guy, but they sat there until the next show started.
See, Nadia.
Oh, Nadia came on.
Nadia's very
Like,
sweet.
that is
Yes,
okay.
yes.
She said that. This
Remember that
well,
like it was yesterday.
I'm just gonna blow her horn a little bit because Vicki was the one that started all of these gospel events and all of like at Magic Mountain and all around. We started this.
Wow.
well, Magic Mountain called, and this was way back in the
Yeah,
day, and they
before.
wanted to know what the numbers could look like and what we could do.
Well, Vicki, you got to remember, I was getting booked for Magic Mountain one time, twice a year.
Yeah.
We would come, man. Wow.
After that, it was
we
like
were,
boom.
we were just trying to. People were going to Disneyland, but they hadn't started Magic Mountain yet.
Right.
And
Six
then
Flags,
when
yeah.
we started doing some programs to show them the numbers that we could bring in, and then after that, it just went crazy.
Just
Thanks, babe. But that's crazy. But I know we used to just talk and be friends,
Yeah.
and we finally got to work together.
Wow. One of the greatest projects of my lifetime.
You know.
Let me tell a little bit about that story that people don't know. I was, as Vicki will tell you, I was with Verity Jive Records for years. I had a contract with them, and I wrote all the music for Life in Favor. And I went to Jazzy, and I was like, Jazzy, this is the greatest project. This is the greatest project I've ever done. And he said, well, let me listen to it over the weekend. And I said, okay. I walked away feeling real good about it. He called me that Monday and said, I don't feel this one. He said, maybe you need to go back and write some more. And I said, what? I was so offended because I knew. Let me say this, guys. I'm leaving home. I'm leaving Cornelius, North Carolina, up by the water, and I get on 77, and I hear this. You don't know my story. And I was like, wow. I knew when I heard that melody. I'm delivered. Here's my story. I said, that song will live forever.
Yes.
So I want to thank you because I didn't have to choke you. I didn't have to run to Nashville. When you heard it, you were just like me. And Vicki, I'm going to share something with you too. You didn't love on me by the track. You heard the little live version I'd done in New Jersey at one of the churches, somebody's conference. And you was like, I must be a part of this. So I want to thank you so much because we can't tell exactly because I don't want them 3-letter people to find or start bothering me. But Life in Favor sold more copies, I believe, than any project I've ever done.
3-letter people. We still yet working, praise God. Hallelujah. But God is good and will deliver.
All the time.
Woo, boy.
Yeah, Life in Favor will go down in history as one of John P. Kee's. I end my concerts with it now, and you guys will not believe how the audience still responds Yeah.
with that
Oh,
one.
they'll
That's
never.
a signature.
They'll never.
signature piece.
It's that I call it. You don't know my story. I know
Right.
it's like my favorite, but
Yeah,
it's you don't
Nadia
know my
wrote, "You
story.
don't know my story."
And Kurt Carr's
For every mountain.
For Every Mountain. Those two songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
You hear those, and you can just roll down the aisle with that one.
Yeah.
Those two. As soon as I heard that song, I'm like, there can be no mistake. This is one of the greatest gospel songs.
Yeah, that it works. It still does. Still has a strong message, and I think coming out of COVID, between that and I Made It Out, I promise you.
Oh yeah, I made it up.
That has been two major anthems with John P. Kee.
Now I tell this story. I shouldn't tell. My husband might make me stop telling it. This is my favorite John P. Kee stories, and I have a few. You can get mad at me. But there was a lady. Do you remember the lady? One time, John P. Kee. I got this funny. If you don't like it, I'll stop.
No, go ahead, tell your story.
John P. Kee is singing. And John P. Kee
At your church?
No, this was at another church. And I was with some folks from Central South who
Right.
hadn't really really been that exposed to blacks in churches. And I don't want to say black church because there's only one church.
Yeah.
But so John P. Kee he's giving away money to people, which is a John P. Kee special to of giving. And he says, I want you to get up and praise him like you have never praised him before. There is this woman sitting next to me with the tube.
I remember that.
And the tube top comes down.
I remember that like yesterday.
Overflow.
I was like, oh my goodness. So I ran over to her and helped her put the top back on. And this lady, because she was getting just so tired. So this woman in back of us finally threw a coat over her head.
Just a coat.
And she was still praising me.
She didn't care. She was like David. She was coming out of him.
Blessed. She got blessed.
Oh my God. I will never forget that story. And I was trying to catch you and go, no. She literally was like David and praised herself out of her clothes.
I've seen it quite a few times. It's wild.
Really?
That's funny. That's real too, I
And
guess.
you should have seen Greg, the white guy, and he was like this. His eyes.
Yeah, this is how we do it, right?
You get the peoples to come out, not just fancy people.
Let me say thank you for that too, because to be 60 years old now and we're still selling houses, that just blows my mind, because I don't pass by the mirror and see who everybody else sees. I see my dad. I see. Speaking of which, the movie, I can't wait for you to see some of the scenes from the movie. We're working on the movie. We're 5 scenes from being through. The movie, real quick, is about my daddy in 1957, who gets a record deal from a company out of New York, and he convinces 21 foot soldiers to leave the America Tobacco Factory and go with him to New York. On their way there, approximately an hour and a half, the Ku Klux Klan turns their bus around and shoots the tires off the back of the bus. We filmed all of this. With my daddy's movie, I chronicle it with a tour with James Cleveland, Mahalia Jackson, the Dixie Hummingbirds, and the Caravans. It's a great movie. I get to tell where gospel comes from. I get to tell how Mahalia will walk
What's
in.
the movie called?
The movie's called The Lost Song. The Lost Song. And what you're going to love about it is I had to produce music for the era. All the music is original. So I've got Mahalia Jackson singing in 1957, before I was born. She's singing a rendition of Jesus is Real in a storefront in New Orleans. So it's you guys are going to love it.
We need that.
You
right
got
now.
something there.
Yeah, I do. So we're 5 scenes from actually finishing the movie. But my son John plays my dad from age 14. Zacardi plays my Uncle George. Rance Allen played my daddy from age 35 to 1975. In 1975, Rance is in the movie and finished all of his scenes.
Oh, this is
oh,
unreal.
this is epic.
This
When
is
you get
epic.
ready to
Ooh,
come out with it,
I'm
you
chills.
come back on, and so we could talk to the people.
I
about
definitely will. I'm gonna blow you guys' mind today. I'm gonna send you some of the scenes. I'm gonna send you some of the music. You're gonna really, you're gonna really love it. You're gonna really love it.
Yeah, that is
I'm
just
done.
yeah. Like
This
I
is
said,
the best day
we
ever.
love you and our fans, but my kids,
Yeah.
and it was such a blessing to us because they became fans of music on something that we didn't have to force them to be John P. Kee. And
I need to tell you that's the point I was trying to make. I didn't mean to cut you off. That's the point I was trying to make. I still see those babies sitting there with the little pigtails on the front row, not willing to leave. And you told me, it's like, they want to stay. I said, well, I guess they'll stay, you know. And I don't remember. I'll tell you how good my memory is. These particular concerts were not outside. They had them in like the big tents type of thing. And they had different artists. And I think that the deal was they were going to watch John P. Kee, and then they were going to go to whoever the other gospel artist was. They never left. So I'll always have respect for your babies.
And my kids, I'm telling you, I don't know if I had been as big a fan.
Isaac Caree was
yeah.
That's right.
And I don't know why he stood out to me, but I remember his face singing one of the leads.
He would always step out with that microphone and sing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you follow me, but a few weeks ago, I posted Isaac.
Yes,
I posted Isaac singing.
They still are fans. And my sister, she's not on, but if you go in her car right now, I bet you one of your songs is in
they're both on. Ronnie and
Kelly. Okay, all right. Well, hey, I'm not mad.
Nobody was gonna miss seeing John P. Kee today. No,
we keep John P. Kee in.
I appreciate y'all so much.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. So you've been serving the community so well,
Yes.
and not just the community, but the country. Like I said, if something happens, you're going to be there. We want to thank you because Claude is Haitian for because we follow you on Instagram for bringing awareness to that as well, because they're building a clinic.
Well, I honestly, let me tell Claude something, and he will understand my heart more than anybody where this is concerned. Claude, I was offended almost because when it first happened, you know, we saw the little CNN story, and I'm like, Vicki, to some respect, if you would, and I don't want to get into my people or my church because it's one church and with one blood he made us all, but those were my people, and just imagine you're sleeping, and you have to wake up to an earthquake, and people are dead. Your family member. It was just stuff like that has always taken me. And Vicki, you remember this. When Katrina happened, when any disaster in America, I've always found my place or my way there because that's what we're commanded to do. And I've created a way, even with Haiti, that I'm able to be a blessing financially. You know, I believe there's so many one-hit wonders in the gospel industry. And I believe if they would hear me here, if they would hear this part of who John P. Kee is, they can sustain their ministries for years to come.
Yeah, amen. Wow. And you've just been consistent. Yeah. I consider you a friend. I mean, like I said, I don't see you often, but I know because I was gonna call you when the political campaign was going on, but COVID came on because I said I'm calling John P. Kee. I was, and I said to help with this voting situation.
Yeah, I did a lot, Vicki. I turned my whole touring. We did so much in our city, you know, because we were dealing in a time where we absolutely had to make a move. You hear me? And you said being worried about even the voters' rights, and we need to be. These are things we're going to have to address. And I'm going on this tour to bring these things up. For some reason, people have always kind of given me their ear. So I want to be a positive force in our community.
Yeah,
Amen.
Amen. And I mean, you could. Your voice is so incredible. You could have been singing anything. Anything.
listen.
But you know, it's good to use a platform. You know, you look at how people use platforms that they have, and so
Right.
I think you use the platform that you have in a
Thank you
very.
so much. Thank you. You know what? Like Vicki just said, you know, we're using. I'm loving my wedding album. I've got a wedding album coming out because I wanted the church folk to have some wedding songs. You know,
Oh,
you
okay.
can't get married, lay beside your sweet
Yeah.
and sing. I do worship. So
Can't get
uh,
there without any love.
You don't want to.
I've written some incredible music. I did some standards. I did Michael Jackson's "I'll Be There." I did the Stylistics, "Stoned in Love with You." So I'm excited about that project too.
You've been so great
That
on
was a
social.
Jackson 5. That's a Jackson 5.
You've been so great on social media.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you have really people just love you there, and you talk to everybody, and it's crazy. But I had one more messy thing I wanted to talk to you about. What do you think, for real, about, what do you call it? You call it the Hood Olympics and the Crate Challenge.
I'm confused. I wish
All bad.
I wish I understood, and I'm telling you, it's gone to a new level. I stopped posting. I started to post a few minutes ago. A guy went too far. He went up to the electrical cords and wires and almost got electrocuted. For what? Now, this is what I say. So you don't want to take the vaccine.
This is what I'm saying.
Because you're afraid of a hospital stay and you don't want to get sick. This vaccine will put me in the hospital. But you will walk up crates for $20.
For $20.
I don't get it. And some of these people, all sizes are fine.
But they all big.
But well, no, not all. But when you're really a person of a lot of stature, why?
Why? Right there. You can stop. You can stop right there. Why?
Why? Just period. Why?
Period. Why?
I think again, it's the power of social media. You know, the more it's seen, the more people want to become a part. Just that few minutes of fame. But when fame equals you breaking your ribs, help me, Vicki. Help me on that one.
I've seen people getting bit by crocodiles and just all kinds of things. And we're fans of Shuler King. I don't know if you know Shuler.
I know Shuler real well.
He's funny to me.
They been Shuler King.
But like some of the, because you guys, he's from South Carolina, right?
Yeah, he's from right down the street from me.
Oh, he's so funny. But some of the stuff those people are doing,
that power of social media, and that's why, even with the Rance Allen piece, and I hope I can pivot just a little bit with that. I think with the Rance Allen piece, I'm excited because I want to sell that piece. I not only want to be a blessing to his wife, but his music. You just said it. Ain't no need in crying. Those songs were hits. And as much as you had to do with so many other artists, I won't name them, in getting them to the front of the stage or giving them their platform, you are the one, Vicki, that can testify that Rance Allen opened these doors years ago before all of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
People don't even talk about him in that vein, but he was gospel, but he crossed over. He crossed
over for real.
I mean, he was on the.
And he was such a good man. And let me say this.
Yes, he was.
He was such a good man.
Yeah.
My dad died in '81, and he picked up the pieces when we first recorded "Traded" on the John P Kee. Which project was it? Colorblind. Yeah, and he was just such a great guy. And I tell people this story. I took his passing really hard because we were not expecting him. We were on the phone that Thursday. He had gone in the hospital. They told him if you take 12 steps, you can get out. He took 15. You know, we're on the phone earlier that night. So we understand and we respect what God did. But I started working on that Rance Allen project. He passed on an early Saturday morning. That Saturday afternoon, I was in the studio rolling. So I'm excited about it. Excited about all the people that are going to be a part. And you're going to love it. I'm sending you, and I'm getting your daughter's number from Sheila. And I'm going to send y'all some music. I'm also going to send you some of the music from the movie. I went back, man. So in 1975, Shirley Caesar would have this huge concert in Durham. So I turned my church into that Durham Civic Center. It's gonna be amazing. And all of the artists, and I don't want to give a movie away, but after they shot the tires out, I followed my dad's life during the movie, and they convinced him to put the choir back together. So Rance puts the choir back together, and they all come in the auditorium, and it's super. Everybody shows up. Mahalia shows up. I play with history a little bit because I think she died in 72, 73. I let her live a couple more years. I let her sing. I was 75.
That's okay.
But Mahalia shows up. The Caravans show up. The Hawkins family show up. So I had to write music that I felt Edwin would have wrote in 75. So you're going to love that because I was able to really have a ball with this piece, and I can't wait for you to see it.
Oh, gosh.
This is epic.
Go ahead.
You know, I'm waiting for you.
No, something about that name, is that in there?
Well, no, what I did was I didn't use any music that they recorded. Rance Allen actually sang songs like Lily in the Valley and Mansion and some of the John P. Kee traditional pieces. But I will tell you this, before he passed, he and I were in the studio a couple of months before then, and we did a song together called It's My Pleasure to Give You Praise. You're gonna love that song.
Oh my gosh, and so you have all that in the vault.
Yes.
Man, we're waiting to
That's
be blessed.
incredible. Well, I want to enjoy talking to you so much. We got to just talk more period.
And for my dad's birthday today.
Today's my husband's birthday.
Boom, right there.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes, today.
I need your daughter to send me her Cash App because I'm paying for dinner tonight, wherever y'all want to go.
Oh. Thank you.
Claude, eat like you eat. Look, I'm gonna say this. Don't make a comment. I'm the oldest. I'm Uncle John from now on. So Uncle John is gonna take care of dinner tonight.
Okay,
Thank
Uncle
you,
John.
John.
Yeah, not quite, but that's okay if you want to believe that.
We got a few years on you.
Yeah,
That's our secret. We're family now.
That's why we family, but it's all good.
thank you so much, and
Thank you
please,
very much.
Uncle John.
please give
I
your
love
love
you.
I
to
love you
Jeanette
too.
and Sheila.
Yes.
I would
And you
right.
wanna thank them. Without those women,
Yeah.
you really can't get to John P.
No, you
Kee.
Yeah, let me say something. And once you get to them, and I purposely, you're gonna love this. I know you guys wanted to talk before. I'm so better off the cuff. I wanted it to be as natural as it was. So we had a great time. I love y'all so much.
We never want to ask people anything that's gotcha or makes
It's never got you with me. I promise you. If I agree to come on, and I don't come on for most,
I know.
but if I agree to come on, I'm gonna give you access to my whole stage. I appreciate you. Pray for the families. Pray for the families that are losing family members. We're out today buying furniture. We still buy furniture for families and bless those in need.
Jesse Jackson as well.
Yes.
Reverend
Yes.
Jesse Jackson.
Yeah. Well, we love you.
Love you more. Listen, you're gonna hear from me. You're gonna get music and dinner's on Uncle John tonight.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. God
Bye.
bless.
Hello.
Hello, what's
Thank
up?
you so much for watching Carfitable
Yes,
Talks.
thank you.
Please remember to press that like button, and we need you to subscribe. And also,
Leave some comments. Really need to hear from you.
thank you.